Hello, fellow law nerds. Welcome to another episode of Boom Lawyered, a Rewire News Group podcast hosted by the legal journalism team that hopes you made it through Thanksgiving with your uncle, Fred, who gets too many emails that are like forward, forward, forward. Barack Obama is still a Hussein Iraqi terrorist. I don't know where all that came from. I'm Rewire News Group's co-chief content officer, Imani Gandhi.
And I am Jess Pieklo, Rewire News Group's other co-chief content officer. Rewire News Group is the one and only home for expert Repro journalism that hopes you're doing okay after that meal with Uncle Fred. And the Boom Lawyered podcast is part of that mission. So a big thanks to our subscribers and a welcome to our new listeners and viewers.
I think it was Uncle Frank, not Uncle Fred. But Frank and Fred are both assholes, honestly. And I'm sorry if you had to share mashed potatoes with them. Our first segment is called What the Fuck is Going On? Because I would like to know personally.
Seriously, I've got
what
some
the
questions.
fuck is going on. So here's something for you, Jess.
Okay.
Did you know that fighting fascism might actually help you live longer?
Get out. For real?
I will not get out. I will do no such thing. So Julia Metro of Mother Jones wrote this article this week or last week that talked about how a growing number of retirees are turning to community volunteering as a response to the social and political instability we are all suffering under this new Trump regime. There was a study from the Social Science and Medicine that found that retirees who volunteer 1 to 4 hours a week show slower epigenetic aging. Epigenetic, that means it's in your DNA. It's like if you're volunteering to help people, your DNA is like, damn, I'm going to help you live longer. It slows aging. Another study found that volunteering during your early retirement reduces depression by about 10% more than in the general population. So I think the bottom line is, the rub of this is, if you're retiring, rather than being depressed about what you're going to do with all your free time, you should volunteer at a library. My mom volunteers at a library. You can volunteer at an animal shelter. You can volunteer with a food bank. You can do all sorts of things that will help you. You know, Jess and I are always talking about community. It's all about community. You got to get out there and get in your community, and you might even live longer. So that's pretty sweet.
I love this story for so many reasons. One, I feel like it's an apology after making me discuss the whole Ryan Lizza, Olivia Nuzzi affair last week. So thank you. Apology accepted. And it's good news. And it's good news about building something and feeling good about doing that. So Julia is an excellent reporter and really just crushes particularly the disability justice beat at Mother Jones. And these connections are just great. It's like, yeah, I'm lucky enough to live out here in Colorado with my dad, and he's 80 years old and doing his volunteer thing. And I mean, he can't see, but he's still sharp as a tack. So it's inspirational. We're not quite there yet, but good
We're
to
getting
know.
there.
I already have, look, everybody knows that when I retire, I am at every dog shelter out there and I am fostering all the senior dogs. Apologies in advance to my family.
I was going to say, have you talked to Kelly about this plan?
It's amazing. Okay. I don't have good news.
Oh, gosh.
Shocking. I know.
Yeah.
Right? Me famously, not good news. But this one actually does feel a little personal. So apparently we don't recognize World AIDS Day anymore, Imani. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'd heard about that because Donald Trump's a dickhead.
Yeah, fuck him and Marco Rubio. Since the first time since 1988, apparently. And I just want to say a little bit about this because this is more than performative cruelty. And this administration has plenty of performative cruelty, right? This is actually, in my opinion, a symptom of the eugenics-focused forward part of the Trump administration. One of the very first things that they did in office was decimate international aid and spending, particularly when it comes to reproductive and sexual health. We know It's not, a guess. It's not hyperbole. We know that actually costs lives. And Imani, you know that I get weird about this issue because I had the great fortune early in my reporting career to take a reporting trip to Ghana around World AIDS Day. I was the only American in the cohort. I was one of two women in the country on the trip, and it quite frankly changed my life. I got to see firsthand the harm that Catholic social services bring in developing and administering aid. I got to see how life affirming and saving reproductive and sexual health aid in places like Accra was. I mean, but no, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore.
What an amazing experience for you to have had. Honestly, like what an amazing experience for you to have had. Now we're living under a regime that is basically treating public health as if it's some kind of loyalty test, right?
Completely.
You got to be straight. You got to be white. You got to reproduce on command. Otherwise, why are you even here? Why are you alive? Right.
Yeah.
And so another thing about this story that's really distressing is that they're trying to shake down African countries for abortion data, right? Like they want intel on abortion in the country before they will even consider providing funding for AIDS, which is it's just grotesque.
Yeah.
But grotesque is what this administration is all about. So
it really
is unsurprising, but
it really is. Can you believe that Olive was only 1 year old when I took that trip?
That's nuts. That is just literally nuts.
It's like 5 lifetimes ago. That girl's learning to drive now, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. All right. So boo to Marco Rubio and the Trump administration for that.
And hooray to old folks who are volunteering. Let's go back and talk about that. That's so much better than fucking Marco Rubio. Oh,
I'm sorry. Apologies. We're even now.
Segment 2.
Okay.
Let's talk about the main thrust of this podcast. Did you know that Texas is upping the ante on banning abortion pills?
Oh,
did you know that? Because that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Listen, Boom Lawyered family, I'm going to take us back to 2020 to 2021. Right? Roe was still the law of the land. But deep in Texas, there was something pretty nefarious brewing. It was a new kind of abortion ban, cooking, being grilled, perhaps. Smoked in the Texas State House. It was a clearly unconstitutional 6-week heartbeat ban, quote unquote heartbeat ban, because we know that embryos don't actually have heartbeats. But it had a decidedly Texan twist. Bounty hunters would be enforcing this ban, right? Remember the Texas bounty hunter ban, all of that SB 8 nonsense that happened before Roe even was shivved in the throat?
Oh, and Andrea Grimes coming up with the best encapsulation of what that ban really was. The any random
motherfucker ban. Because essentially it allowed any random motherfucker to file a lawsuit and potentially grab $10,000 if they suspected and were able to prove that someone had gotten a, quote, illegal abortion.
Yeah. Wild. And even more wild was the fact that SCOTUS let this newfangled abortion ban take effect a full year before overturning Roe in the Dobbs decision, right? That effectively projected to anyone who was paying attention that Roe was dead in the water. I mean, we did a whole thing about it, Imani, a whole thing.
We sure did.
Right? And it also ushered in a new age of state-level abortion bans on the horizon. It was very clear. Texas, a full year before Dobbs, got to, have its 6-week ban take effect. Okay. Fast forward to this legislative session in the year of our Lord 2025 in Texas, and the bounty hunter ban is back, Imani. Except this time, it's got the Comstock Act riding shotgun.
Oy vey. So here's what's going down in Texas and how it's explicitly designed to bait the Supreme Court into a fight over Comstock. This past summer, Texas lawmakers passed HB 7. It's a law that takes that bounty hunter provision in the SB 8 statute from 2021 and applies it to abortion pills. The law is set to take effect on December 4th. So that's 2 days from now. 2 days from now. Here's what the law does and does not do. First of all, it's not a new ban because medication abortion is already outlawed in Texas and has been for years, right? Miffy, miso, you ain't going to be able to use it in Texas, at least not legally. Texas currently allows private citizens to sue abortion providers. Now, HB 7 applies that existing legal tool, that private enforcement, to the abortion pill ban more specifically. And it extends this bounty hunter concept by giving a monetary award to those who bring a lawsuit and are not related to any part of the pregnancy.
Now, under HB 7, anyone who manufactures, distributes, or plays any part in helping a pregnant person access abortion-inducing medication can be sued. This can include, but is definitely not limited to, doctors who prescribe abortion medication, companies like Aid Access or Plan C who mail abortion pills, a family member or a friend who orders abortion pills for their pregnant friend, that kind of thing. Anyone can bring a lawsuit. If they win, plaintiffs get at least $100,000 from the defendant if they are related to the fetus. If they are not, they can only receive $10,000 and would have to donate the rest of that $100,000 bounty to a charity or nonprofit. The charity of their choosing, however, cannot be one that they or their family members receive a salary or any financial benefits from. Oh, but I bet Texas for Life is all over.
I was about to say, like, give your money all to ADF or Students for Life or Live Action or any of these anti-abortion jamokes.
Oh, what a grift it is.
Griftiest of grifts.
Pregnant people who seek out for themselves or take abortion pills are exempt from being sued under HB 7, so tiny mercies, I guess.
I mean, the issue with HB 7 is the same issue I had with SB 8, right? Yeah. Like, we are living right now in a time where shit is crazy expensive. With the inflation and shrinkflation and eggs costing $100 for a dozen, it's like...
With the inflation and the shrinkflation.
With the inflation and the shrinkflation and the deflation and the reflation. But seriously, it's basically taking people who are living in vulnerable circumstances because the economy is shit and saying, hey, we have a great way for you to rack up a cool 10 grand. All you got to do is just snitch on your neighbors, right? Like snitch on your neighbors. It's turning the surveillance state on its head and turning neighbor against neighbor, weaponizing financial desperation to turn regular ass people into Dog the goddamn bounty hunter.
Right. And do you remember back in 2021 when we did that editorial package declaring abortion pills and the efforts to ban them as the future for abortion access in the country? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. We had amazing editorial packages back in the day. Do you remember that?
Like, that was a really good one.
That was an excellent one.
Thank you. This was pre-Dobbs. And so, I do keep bringing that point up because while this is new, this is a fight that's been brewing for years and years and years. All right. So this was pre-Dobbs, but it was clear even back then that abortion pills plus telehealth and the ability to mail those pills had fundamentally altered the abortion landscape in ways that mainstream brick and mortar pro-choice movement wasn't even really quite grasping themselves, right? So fast forward to 2025, here we are. And, so Dobbs erased a national right to abortion and ushered in bans across the country. And have abortion rates decreased? No. The reason abortion rates have been relatively steady and even increased slightly in the wake of Dobbs, according to analysis by the Kaiser Family Foundation, is that despite all of this chaos in the law, it's this magic combination of abortion pills, telehealth, and the mail. That's why Texas is targeting abortion pills like they are, and anti-abortion lawmakers think this bounty hunter playbook is the way to go.
I mean, it's pretty desperate of them, right? Because they really thought, okay, all we got to do is overturn Roe.
Yep.
And then we'll get rid of abortion and we can move on to the next thing, which is elevating eggs to persons, right? But they have to backtrack and go back over to the medication abortion regime and try to end that. And this is a way that they're trying to do that. And I think it's fascinating that they're going after Big Pharma because you remember we did that podcast a few years ago where we were like, do we have to be pro Big Pharma now? Like, is Big Pharma going to save abortion pills? And we were like, maybe. The answer might be yes. We also have to talk about the fact that HB 7 is an invitation for intimate partner violence, right? It's practically a blueprint for domestic violence and reproductive coercion. Because who's most likely to quote unquote bring a lawsuit and claim a relationship to the fetus? It's abusive partners who are looking for control, right? They're looking to control their partners. And Texas is like, hey, we'll reward you for it. Here's $10,000. Woohoo. Depressing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We also have to talk about the privacy concerns, right? Because how is a plaintiff who's going to be filing one of these lawsuits, right, going to prove their relationship to the fetus?
Right.
Because any old asshole can come off the street and be like, yeah, I'm filing this lawsuit because I'm the father of that baby. Well, the only way to actually prove that is to start mucking around in the private health information of the pregnant person.
Right.
Right? So that this incentivizes abusive partners and their co-conspirators, people like Jonathan Mitchell, who is the architect of this bounty hunter nonsense. He was the architect of SB8. He's the architect of HB7, since HB7 is based on that bounty hunter regime. The bounty hunter regime, which confused the Supreme Court so much, they were like, well, gee whiz, we don't know what to do. I guess we're just going to go ahead and let SB8 go into effect a whole last year before Roe is overturned.
Jonathan Mitchell is also representing that abusive ex who is trying to yoke up his ex's friends for helping her access medication abortion. Like, this is actually what he is out there doing. They're trying to solicit plaintiffs as we speak for this. So this is, you could not be more on the nose with those concerns. And I mean, you mentioned abusive partners. This is, horrible for minors who are in abusive family situations. Like the parade of tragedies that this incentivizes goes on and on and on. And I have to say that it is also so clearly a new shield law test and opening for the Supreme Court to get involved. Okay, so look, arguably, Texas already has a law on the books that gets at what HB7 is trying to tackle. It's what Imani's been talking about, SB8, this 6-week ban. Under SB8, arguably someone could sue an out-of-state provider and claim that providing pills was aiding and abetting an abortion in Texas, right? That was the big sort of hook that the bounty hunter provision was trying to yoke people up on, was this idea of aiding and abetting an abortion, right? That's less direct than HB7, which is direct litigation pipeline to abortion providers and manufacturers, like you said. And, okay, so we've got, Blonde Barbie at DOJ, right? Like Pam Bondi, like Fashy Bonds. It's an open invitation to resurrect the Comstock Act specifically.
I mean, it absolutely is.
Which is
right?
a national abortion ban.
Yeah.
Like that would be the implication of that happening.
100%. And that's the whole point of this, right? Because they got away with it with SB8. They've already gotten away with it. So now they're just going to go back with HB7 and be like, hey, man, can we do this? Can we just pay people to snitch on each other? Muck about in their personal reproductive health records? Let's do that. Texas is basically standing outside SCOTUS's window, holding up a boombox, blasting a love song about the Comstock Act. It's very Lloyd Dobler. For those of you who remember Lloyd Dobler, right? Like, they are thirsty. It's like the Supreme Court is Ione Skye's character, Diane, right? And fucking Texas is Lloyd Dobler. They're so thirsty, they want the court to notice.
And what is coming out of that boombox is the Orrin Hatch rendition and John Ashcroft of On Eagle's Wings.
No. I always forget about On Eagle's Wings.
That is a deep cut for the Boom Layered family. I really urge you to Google that. You will not be disappointed. I feel like we even need to
actually, you will probably be very disappointed, but it'll be funny anyway.
In like humanity, but you'll laugh.
Exactly.
You'll laugh. You know what else is a wrinkle in this story too is Bobby Kennedy. God, 2 weeks in a row, I'm talking about him. I hate this timeline.
This fucking guy.
So much. Oh my God, he's so gross. Anyway, he's mucking around with abortion pills in the water, right? Like Students for Life for the last 10 some odd years has been claiming that mifepristone is in the water supply and making frogs gay or some shit like that. So he has promised HHS to review mifepristone's initial approval. So that's lurking. And I know everybody's gonna be like, but Jess, what about the generic Miffy that the FDA approved? Wasn't that great and weird? Yes, to both of those things. And let me tell you, there's also a new lawsuit targeting that generic Miffy approval that just was recently filed with our old friends in Texas, Idaho. You know the drill, right? So again, I mean, Texas is just really doing the most to prove that it is the most loyal foot soldier in the campaign to ban abortion nationwide. This is not something that's just going to stay in Texas.
100%. Texas has been ground zero for the worst anti-abortion nonsense for basically as long as we've been doing this work, right?
Yeah.
Like Whole Woman's Health versus Hellerstedt was Texas. HB2 was Texas. Wendy Davis.
Driving the windy long roads.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not an imposition or an undue burden to have to go get an abortion 250 miles away because Edith Jones of the Fifth Circuit says the roads are flat and uncongested.
Yeah,
right?
so like Texas, just haul ass to your abortion.
Haul ass across the freaking freeway in Texas. Texas has always been like a beta tester. Yes. For every anti-abortion fever dream that you can think of. If there is a wild new tactic, you can bet your sweet patoot. Did I just say sweet patoot?
You did just say sweet patoot.
That is like the grandma in me coming out. You can bet your sweet patoot that Texas is on it, right? You want to ban pills because they're in the water? Call Texas. You want to resurrect a zombie law from 1873 that was promoted by a dildo hoarder? Ask Texas. You want to sue a generic Miffy manufacturer? Texas is like, oh yeah, we got you. We're going to file this bill before lunch and then we're going to take it straight to the Supreme Court where they're going to rubber stamp whatever the fuck we want to do. It's just get it together, Texas. Not Texas residents, because there are a lot of great people who live in Texas, but Texas Republicans, I want to float them on a barge into the sea. Honestly, I do.
Out in the Gulf. So this is very clearly the next frontier in the fight over abortion pills. Like we said at the beginning of this segment, unless this is blocked by the courts, HB 7 is set to take effect December 4th, so this week. Imani and I will be tracking this one closely. You can tell we've got a little bug about it. Do advocates challenge this? Maybe in state court? I mean, I don't know that I want Alito anywhere near this thing.
You don't. He's going to raise a flag about it. That's what's going to happen. He and Martha Ann are going to just start raising flags.
She 100% has a mifepristone flag.
It's just like a pill with an X through it.
Or it's like a skull and crossbones pirate flag, except, you know what? No, that's too punk rock. She's not
too punk rock.
She's no way is she that
she's
punk
not
rock.
That cool.
No,
she is not that cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the challenge for places like Texas right now, is that the state has been gerrymandered to the umpteenth degree, which makes electoral change really difficult in one or two electoral cycles. Advocates are out there doing deep canvassing to understand how Texans really feel about abortion, not the shit that they have to live with and deal with as a result of the Texas Republican Party. But in the meantime, do they just let these laws take effect? Do they try to challenge them in a few venues? Is it, piece by piece? I don't know, man. I am grateful that I am not thinking through that litigation strategy.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one because, all Texas Supreme Court is just chock full of Republicans, right? So you may not want the Texas Supreme Court to look at it. You definitely don't want the Supreme Court of the United States to look at it. So it's like,
I mean, James Ho probably already has a draft opinion around this bill that he's just excited to trot out in his, campaign to be one of Trump's next SCOTUS picks.
Yeah, and it'll be like what he said in the last, what was it, in the SB8 lawsuit or the Miffy lawsuit about how doctors providing abortion pills were denying people the aesthetic pleasure of looking at pregnant women, pregnant
he's
people.
A creep.
Because pregnant women are really pretty, and really, if you're out here just aborting everything hither and yon, you're denying society. the opportunity to just walk up to strangers and start rubbing on their belly like a fucking weirdo.
Hey, Jess, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. Just aborting here and
Just aborting stuff here and hither
yon.
and yon. Willy-nilly, if you will.
Want to grab lunch later? Can't. Aborting hither and yon.
Gone. You just put up a sign on your door that says "Gone aborting" instead of "Gone fishing." Oh, sweet Jesus,
dear.
But I mean, the bottom line is, every time you think that we have hit the bottom of the barrel, here comes fucking Texas with a goddamn shovel, right?
Truly.
It's just going to be a mess. December 4th is going to be a mess. We're probably going to see a flurry of lawsuits immediately thereafter, as we've been talking about, but who knows what the outcome of that will be. But you better believe that Jess and I are going to be on it. We're going to be watching every fucked up minute of this.
And to our Boom Lawyer friends and family in Texas listening right now, hang in there. We love you. We appreciate you. We're sorry.
We appreciate you. And to people who don't live in Texas, please stop with the, Texas should secede. Texas should succeed, but they should not secede, right?
Right.
Oh, it's a flyover say, why are you living in Texas? You should just move. That's not how we do things. That's not how we do things. No. We got to lift the people up who are trying to do the work in Texas to turn it back blue, because it used to be blue. Remember, Ann Richards, ever heard of her? Look her up.
Your rights in a blue state are no more secure because of Texas being Texas. So just, get it together on that
100%.
Side. All right. Looking ahead, what is on deck? We have final episode of Boom Lawyer coming up. Bit of a look back. Year ahead. I feel like I woke up in January and now it's December and some shit has happened. Like how
I can't even think about it.
First year.
It hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. We have 3 more years of this shit at a minimum. But at least we got through the first year, right? We got through the first year, Boom Lawyer fam. We got through it together. We talked to you a lot about community. If you're retiring, go volunteer at a library or a shelter.
Yes.
Like, we can get through this. As Jess always says, the only way out is through.
Yeah.
We made it through 1 year. 3 more to go.
This is basically one of the things that you talked about with Judy Reyes in the last episode of Bitch Listen.
Yes.
And that she was so phenomenal on articulating is just not only like the role of community, but the ways in which showing up in community actually like strengthens yourself as an individual. She was a dream.
100%. I've loved Judy Reyes since 1998, right? Like
Scrubs.
Her first TV show was Scrubs, Carla on Scrubs, and we talked a bit about that. I mean, she talked about how her first kissing scene with Donald Faison with Turk, she just went up and like really kissed him, and apparently Donald was like, whoa, and they just sort of became best friends, and like they're still friends, and it's just a really.
Can you imagine just running up on Donald Faison,
running up on Turk and just planting one on him? I mean. But what I loved about that show, we talked a lot about immigration issues and we talked a lot about community. She's Dominican, and it was really interesting to talk to her about people who are Republicans and who are Latino and how someone like her can navigate that situation. I mean, she was really open. She was really vulnerable. She had great ideas about like a new TV show about younger Cubans living with older, more conservative Cubans and the sort of relationship that can generate or engender. But watching her talk about Scrubs, like the fact that they're rebooting this show nearly 30 years later, right? The fact that apparently she and Turk have 4 daughters now. And a lot of the same people are coming back. And it's just, I'm so excited about it. But I just want everyone who is listening to this podcast to please go listen to my Judy Reyes episode, because I think I've listened to almost all of her podcast appearances.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I think anyone really asked her about what it's like being a Latino woman in this environment, right? People talk to her about her acting and representation in Hollywood and whatnot. And it was really fun to have this conversation with her, because a lot of the questions I asked her, she wasn't expecting. There weren't canned answers. You know what I mean? This was, you could see her thinking and being really thoughtful and then expressing herself in a way that was just Absolutely goddamn delightful. And she had the nerve to show up 57 years old with no makeup, with skin glowing like the sun.
I was gonna say the audacity of Judy Reyes.
Audacity. She's gorgeous. She's lovely. And she actually has her own podcast where she talks about politics. I don't think a lot of people know that. So please go give a listen to that. It's wonderful. And for the next episode of Bitch Listen, we're getting personal. I am getting personal. Ooh. I am having my partner, love of my life, Portia Birch on. We're going to talk about our relationship, how I became gay late in life, and how she was like, yeah, I'll take this ride with you. It's going to be really, really cute, really, really delightful. So please look for that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I adore Portia.
Everybody adores
family.
Portia. She's just like, she's my favorite person.
Oh, one of mine as well. So Portia, I can't wait. I really.
So it's really going to be a great episode. It'll be a nice Christmassy episode. So look forward to that.
You.
Again, please go watch my Judy Reyes episode. She's so wonderful.
Do it.
And let's see. If you want to follow us, you want to talk to me or Jess about any of the things, you can follow us on Blue Sky. I'm angrybblacklady.blacksky.app. Jess is hegemommy, hegemommy.bsky.social. You can follow rewirenewsgroup.com on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. I think that's it. Oh, and YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you will get a notification every time a new Boom Lawyered episode pops up and every time a new Bitch Listen episode pops up.
Yeah.
And aside from that, what are we going to do, Jess?
We're going to see you on the tubes, folks.
We'll see you on the tubes, folks. This is Boom Lawyered, a Rewire News Group podcast produced and engineered by Chapter 4 and available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts.